So dear students, before we go ahead with case number 5 or second case from the working capital management, so I would request Deepa to make the micro presentation of the day. Over to you, Deepa. Please share the news article and then present.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Deepa. Today of the news of the today is banks can pay less on matured bulk FDs RBI. From the source of Times of India. Mumbai in a Deepa. Today I want to present about banks can pay less on matured bulk FDs RBI. From the source of Times of India. Mumbai in bid to discourage business from using a bank for treasury management. The Reserve Bank of India has allowed banks to offer the lower of either the savings deposit rate or fixed deposit rate on matured FDs. The move by the RBI expected to force business to make use of their resources more productively or deploy them in long-term deposits. As per the new RBI rule, the customer will have to bear the loss in terms of interest in savings if he or she has not claimed FD even after maturity. RBI stated that customers can still earn interest after term deposit matures and proceeds are unpaid. The circular had triggered speculation in social media that auto-renewal of fixed deposit would be impacted. Bankers also said that there was no intention to do away with auto-renewals as bank cannot disregard standing instructions given by customers. The RBI is likely to clarify that auto-renewals and renewal of overdue deposits will continue like earlier. Earlier, banks were forced to provide savings account rates on even bulk deposits, which offered returns lower than savings account. In case of overdue deposits, the RBI had left it to bank to their board laying down transparent policy. This allows the bank to renew fixed deposit from the maturity date even if customer delays approaching the bank. The circulars could also impact a very small section of retail customers who have accounts in banks that high savings account. Several small finance banks and some private banks offer returns ranging from 4 to 7% on savings accounts. Analysis of news. A fixed deposit is a financial instrument provided by banks which provide investors a higher rate of interest than regular savings account until the given maturity date. Maturity. This is the time at which the amount of in fixed deposit has to be returned to the investor. The fixed deposit is given for a time period that is decided at the time of making the investment and at the expiry this has to given back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deepa. You please go back to the second slide.
Yes.
Okay, so she was not well. She postponed her presentation, but still, okay, she scheduled her presentation in this class. Okay, so she took that initiative and she did not ignore the micro presentation. So for this initiative, I congratulate you. Keep up, okay, keep it up, Deepa. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So now let us go ahead with our next case. Okay, Students, can you see this PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so again, students, you have to play the role of the advisor here, and you have a client who approaches you, okay, for this given purpose. While preparing a project report on behalf of a client, okay, so you are a business consultant and you are preparing a project report or project proposal on behalf of a client, means another company. You have collected the following facts. So you are requested to estimate the net working capital required for that project. Okay, then add 10% to your computed figure to allow contingencies. Okay. Okay, students, can you still see this PDF file? Yes, no. Okay. Responsible
Yes,
to be
sir.
very kind. Yes, thank you. Because every time somebody joins, I get a mirror image here. I don't know what is the problem. Okay, so I have to keep asking. So you are a business consultant here, and the client approaches you to prepare a business proposal or a business project report. Okay, and as part of that, you are also required to estimate the net working capital required for that business purpose, and you have to add 10% contingency to your computed figure to allow for emergencies or contingencies. So now, dear students, though the method and the format is going to remain same, okay, but there are couple of twists in the problem, and here we need to estimate each current asset and current liability as per the formulas or equations we have learnt in theory part. So you need to, there is a work, calculation work is more here. Now please pay attention. So the information that is available with you, okay, is given into two columns: particulars on the left hand side and amount per unit. See here the information is given amount per unit in the right hand side column in rupees. So first information is estimated cost per unit of production. So we have that, remember, raw material inventory, budgeted production in units, then into cost per unit, okay, production cost per unit into average inventory, average raw inventory holding period, raw material inventory holding period. So I have to use those formulas for all current assets and current liabilities. The estimated cost per unit of production, raw material cost per unit is 80 rupees, direct labor cost per unit is 30 rupees, overheads is exclusive of depreciation, which is 10 rupees per unit, or 60 rupees per unit. Overheads are 60 rupees per unit. So total cash cost, total production cost per unit is 170 rupees. This is the first set of information. And there is some additional information here. Again, I have to ask you, can you see the PDF file, or next time onwards if somebody joins late, I admit them and return back to the PDF file. You please tell me, sir, the file is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. In courtesy of late joiners. So additional information provided here is selling price is a 200 rupees per unit. It is required in calculation of creditors. Level of activity. This is budgeted production in units. 1,04,000 units of production per annum per year. Raw materials in stock. Okay. Raw material holding period is average 4 weeks. Work in progress inventory or work in process inventory, holding period is average 2 weeks. But they have given some information in the bracket. Assume 50% completion stage in respect of conversion costs. Conversion costs are nothing but the direct labor and overheads. Okay. So assume 50% completion stage in respect of conversion costs and 100% completion in respect of materials. Material means raw material. Entire piece of raw material will be released into the assembly line or production line. I told you the example of Maruti Suzuki India. Tires, for example, one of the components or spares of the car, either the tire tube and its molding, okay, as a whole is released into the assembly line, not separately. Please remember. So conversion and 100% completion cost with respect to raw material. Okay, excuse me, please again. There are more late channel. I don't know. Okay, I heard the noise, but it's okay. Now, why nobody is responding? Can you see the PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Somebody, one student, please
sir.
respond.
Sir.
Okay. Anybody? Every time I need not repeat the same question again and again. The session is being recorded. Then finished goods in stock. Average holding period is 4 weeks. Credit allowed by suppliers to the company. Average 4 weeks. Credit allowed to debtors. This company gives the credit period of 8 weeks to its customers. It's a very bad situation actually. Credits allowed by suppliers of raw materials is only 4 weeks, and this company is allowing 8 weeks of credit to its customers, debtors. Okay, this company would require a large amount of working capital to invest in debtors. Anyway, this is just for our knowledge. Lag in payment of wages. The time gap in payment of wages is 1.5 weeks. Then cash at bank is expected to be 25,000. And there is some information. You may assume that production is carried on evenly throughout the year for 52 weeks, and wages and overheads accrue similarly. All sales are on credit basis only. So you are saved of some additional calculation. All sales are on credit basis only. Okay. Now you will learn how we are going to estimate each current asset and current liability. The calculation work is more here. So remember the calculator. If you don't, those who don't have, please buy one before you come to college. So first let us solution. Okay, net working capital estimate of this project. So you need to make this table, particulars and amount column in rupees. Okay, it's always better to mention here amount in rupees. Here particulars. The first we are going to estimate the current assets. The first among the current assets is the raw material. Okay, raw material inventory or raw materials in stock. You can remember budgeted production into raw material cost per unit into average raw material holding period. Okay, so all the information is here. Okay, the budgeted production is 1,04,000 and the raw material cost per unit is 80 rupees. Okay, and the average raw material holding period is 4 weeks. So how we write? 1,04,000 into 80 into 4 divided by 52 weeks. So if you solve this, the answer will be 6,40,000 rupees is the amount of working capital which is required to invest in raw materials for the year. And the second current asset is a work in progress. Okay. So how we are going to calculate? Please pay attention. I had given you a lot of reading material. I have explained in that different notes and twists and adjustments. So please check here. So first work in process is the raw material. Okay. So what they say about raw material of work in progress? Work in progress. Assume 50% completion stage in respect of conversion costs and 100% completion in respect of materials. Average work in process holding period is 2 weeks. Okay. So 100% of the raw material cost you have to take in estimating the raw material work in progress. So work in progress, raw material first. Okay. So 1,04,000 units into 80 rupees. Full cost we have to take into account as the full raw material will be released into the production process. Into 2 divided by 52. So if you solve this, you will get 3,20,000 rupees is the working capital required to invest in work in process of raw materials. Then comes direct labor. Okay. See, direct labor is 30 rupees and overheads are 60 rupees. But what information is given with respect to work in progress? Assume 50% completion stage in respect of conversion costs. Direct labor and overheads are the conversion costs. We have to consider 15 rupees of direct labor in case of direct labor and 30 rupees in case of overheads. Okay. So amount required to invest in work in process direct labor, okay, is the 1,04,000 budgeted production in units into 15 rupees, which is 50% of the direct labor cost, which is 30 rupees. Okay, into 2 divided by 52. 2 weeks is the average holding period. Time 2 weeks is work in progress is average 2 weeks is the holding period. So if you simplify this, you will get 60,000 rupees direct labor. Then overheads, budgeted production in units 1,04,000 into 50% of the overheads. 50% of 60 rupees is 30 into average holding period, 2 divided by 52, 1,20,000. Okay. So instead of this, there is one more way. You can prepare one more inner amount column and outer amount column. Since work in process, okay, these all three components belong to work in process, you can write the raw material amount 3,20,000, 60,000 and 1,20,000 in the inner column and make a total, show an arrow mark and put the total of this in the outer column. That will be more systematic. It will be easy to understand. Okay. Then the third current asset is finished goods stock. So the formula is same, budgeted production in units into sales cost per unit into the average holding period of finished goods. Okay. So here estimated cost per unit of production, raw material, direct labor and overheads. The total production cost per unit is 170 rupees. That is what we are going to consider it as. We are going to consider it for the purpose of calculating amount required to invest in finished goods inventory. So 170 rupees into the finished goods in stock average holding period is 4 weeks. Okay, so finished goods stock 1,04,000 into 170 into 4 divided by 52 equal to 13,60,000 rupees is the amount required to invest in finished goods stock until they are sold to customers and the company recovers the payment from the customers. Company is required to hold 13,60,000 rupees with itself. The next current asset is the debtors, 1 lakh budgeted production in units, okay, into sales cost per unit, which is again 170 rupees, into debtors collection period. Okay, that is the credit allowed to debtors, 8 weeks. Okay. I'm sorry. Correct. So 1,04,000 the budgeted production in units, assuming that everything is being sold, and 100% is credit sales. So I have to take all the amount, all the units into 170 rupees sales cost per unit into the credit allowed to debtors is 8 weeks. 8 divided by 52 is equal to 27,20,000 rupees. The amount required to invest in debtors till they collect the payment from the debtors. Cash at bank, okay, is taken as its face value, that is 25,000 rupees. So you need to take a check whether we considered all the current assets. Generally it is easy to identify, but only when they say if the customers have paid all the amount in advance before the order is delivered. Okay, so instead of considering it in current assets debtors, we have to consider them in current liabilities. So that these twists you need to remember the adjustments. So the total of all the current assets is 52,45,000 rupees. The total investment required in the current assets in this case is 52,45,000 rupees. So before we go ahead and estimate the amount required to meet the current liabilities, okay, if you have any questions in estimation of current assets, please let me know. Yes, it's your time to clarify your doubts or queries.
Sir,
Yes.
so why we have to take 170 rupees for debit tax, sir? Did they mention in question, sir?
Yeah, because
Total.
sales price is not given. So in the absence of selling price, okay, to the customer, we have to consider the production cost per unit, which is the total of raw material cost per unit, direct labor cost per unit, and overhead cost per unit, which is 170 rupees. Okay, so you multiply that by the total number of units, which is 1,04,000. That will give you the total sales value of credit sales. The credit sales were amounting to 27,60,000 rupees. That is all credit sales. That is why we have to consider 170 rupees as selling price per unit.
Sir, for raw materials we took 80 rupees, no, sir?
Now 1 minute. The first question asked by Ruchita itself. Who
Yes,
asked
sir.
the first question? Okay. Is that clear now? Any doubts?
Me itself, sir.
Sorry?
No, sir.
The first question is still
No, sir.
remains. Hello.
No, sir.
Okay, so we will speak one at a time. We are speaking simultaneously. I will speak first, you will reply, okay? Whether the first question answer is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you have a second question, or it is a continuation of the first question?
Continuation, sir.
Ah.
In raw materials in stock we took rupees 80.
This one, raw material.
Yes, sir. Rupees 80 we took, sir.
Correct.
Why can't we take 170 only, sir?
So it is a very simple thing.
Because
It
for
is given
finished
here.
goods debit.
It is not finished goods here. In work in progress, we are finding out how we can find what a work in progress. Okay.
Not that one, sir. Raw materials in stock.
Raw materials in stock. Okay. See, it is simple. Why we took 80 rupees? See here. Raw material cost per unit is 80 rupees. That's why we took, okay, 80 rupees. Now, what is the formula of estimating investment in raw material inventory? Budgeted production in units, which is 1,04,000. We can see here, into raw material cost per unit. Raw material cost per unit is 80 rupees into average raw material inventory holding period 4 weeks, 4 divided by 52. That's why we took 80 rupees. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, this is the first current asset, raw material inventory, and this is the second last current asset, debtor. So both are different.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Any other questions? Very good. Okay, this way if you speak, interact, okay, so it will keep the session interactive. Okay, and two-way communication, okay, both will feel good. Any other questions? Kind yes or no would be very good, dear students.
No, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. A beautiful bird is singing in the background of Keshav's home.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us continue and estimate the current liabilities. Okay. The first one is there are only two. The first one is the creditors. Okay. Okay, so what is the formula? But total cash credit sales. So it is mentioned that okay, so all the sales are on a credit basis only. So 1,04,000 units will be produced in the year, and all will be sold on credit basis only. Okay, so number of units sold 1,04,000, and we have to assume that whatever is produced, everything is being sold on credit basis. So 1,04,000 units sold into okay 80 rupees, okay, into 4 divided by 52, okay, that is 6,40,000, and lag in payment of wages is 1.5 weeks. The time gap in payment of wages is 1.5 weeks. So the budgeted production in units 1,04,000 into the 30 rupees. Why we are taking 30 rupees? Okay, so it is mentioned here. Yeah, double plus I have marked it. Direct labor cost per unit is 30 rupees. So we are considering the same here. Direct labor cost per unit is 30 rupees into that average time lag in payment of wages is 1.5 weeks divided by 52 weeks in the year. So once you simplify, you get 90,000 rupees. Okay, and creditors. Okay, so here once again a simple question, but let me, for my clarity and interaction purpose, I will ask. So when we say creditors, okay, so I will ask the opposite question of Ruchita. In case of creditors, why we are considering 80 rupees? You can begin the answer with explaining who are these creditors first. In estimate.
Sir, repeat question, sir.
Okay, in estimating the creditors, why we are considering 80 rupees? And you can begin the answer.
Sir, because
with,
the raw material.
you can begin the answer with by saying first who are these creditors.
Sir, creditors are the suppliers. Sir, we have purchased the raw
Suppliers of
material
what?
from the suppliers.
Very good. Pause here. First part. Who is answering? Ganesh, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So creditors here means suppliers of raw material. The company purchases raw materials on credit basis. Okay. The credit allowed by suppliers of raw materials to the manufacturer is 4 weeks. Very good. Next, go ahead. Why we consider 80 rupees?
Sir, because the raw material cost is 80 rupees only. Sir.
Yes, very good. Okay, so the raw material cost per unit is 80 rupees. And what is the formula to find out, estimate the creditors? Credit sales, that is number of units sold on credit basis into, okay, number of units purchased on credit basis, or that is also equal to budgeted production in units, into raw material cost per unit, which is 80 rupees per unit, into credit allowed by the creditors or suppliers of raw materials is 4 weeks divided by 52 weeks. So once you simplify, you get 6,40,000 rupees. Okay, thank you Ganesh. Good answer it was. Now there are only two current liabilities. Okay, so we total them. The total current liability is 6,40,000 plus 90,000 is equal to 7,30,000 rupees. So the remaining part is simple. Net working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. The total of current assets are 52,45,000 minus 7,30,000 rupees. Okay, so the net working capital is 45,15,000 rupees. I told in the beginning, this company would require a huge amount of net working capital, and you have been asked to add 10% for emergencies. Okay, so 10% of 45,15,000 is 4,51,500 rupees. So 45,15,000 plus 10% contingency, 4,51,500 is equal to 49,66,500 rupees is the net working capital required for this business proposal or business project. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, you think about it. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Just let me read out these working notes. Okay, you can write them in the beginning also. Okay, for your clarity, you will not forget. A full unit of raw material is required at the beginning of the manufacturing process. My example is very simple. Remember, tires in case of a passenger car, or exide battery in case of a passenger car. Okay, the whole unit has to be released in the manufacturing process. You cannot say, sir, now I will release only tire and later I will release a tube. That will not work. So a full unit of raw material is required in the beginning of the manufacturing process, and therefore total cost of the material, that is 80 rupees per unit, has been taken into consideration. Okay, while in the case of expenses, that is the direct labor and overheads, the unit has been finished only to the extent of 50%. So accordingly 15 rupees and 30 rupees have been charged for direct labor and overheads respectively in valuing work in process. This entire note is about estimating work in progress. We considered the full 80 rupees of raw material cost per unit in calculating work in progress, but only 50% of direct labor and overheads. Okay, so any queries, any questions? Shall I stop sharing now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now the session is open for questions and answers. Are we going according to the methods and processes that we learned in the theory aspect?
Yes, sir.
Okay, or there it was different, here it is different, what I am speaking is altogether different. Is there any mismatch or lack of coordination?
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
so
sir.
it should enable you to understand the concepts properly. Okay, and should become very strong in the fundamentals, means basics of the subject. Okay, in semester 1 and 2, all the subjects that you learn are called fundamental subjects or basic subjects. Okay, so they lay a foundation for your next year specialization in semester 3 and semester 4. Okay, so for example, what you study in marketing?
Sir.
Yes, what happened?
Sir, any simpler way, sir, like the current assets and liabilities can be taken at one side and they can be calculated like that, sir.
No, you have to
For the
estimate them separately. You have to estimate them separately. And the most simple way is you should remember the formula, which is more or less same. See, first you need the budgeted production in units
okay.
multiplied by cost per unit, related cost per unit multiplied by average inventory holding period. That's it. Or average holding period. Time will be there. These three components of the formula you remember. See how we do it in case of raw materials. We need budgeted production in units, into we need raw material cost per unit, into we need average raw material inventory holding period. Okay. And in case of debtors, for example, what we need? We need number of units sold on credit basis. Correct. Number of units sold on credit basis into selling cost per unit into debtors collection period. So the formula is same, but the data will be different. So you should just relate each formula to each current asset or current liability. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that was a smart question. As anybody else? Please clarify your doubts. Okay, so if you don't have any other doubts, then I am very happy that you are learning the subject. Okay, and now just let me share. I just learned on one